Muted. I am muted. Oh my goodness. Hello, 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 and welcome. You can't make this up at all. This is live, right? And I was muted for quite a bit and I was just talking away. But either which way, welcome to Self Care Saturdays again. Thank you for joining us. I am Allison and I am the proud owner and founder of the Healing Oasis. The Healing Oasis is the parent body that is responsible for bringing you these segments within our group, the Healing Oasis Wellness Circle, where we are all about wellness. Now it's Saturday. It's the third Saturday. Is it the third Saturday? Yeah, it is the third Saturday. So we come to you the first and the third Saturday of each month talking about wellness. Last 2 weeks rather, we had an incredible young lady who was here with us who taught us about skincare and how important it is to take care of our skin. You know, our mantra is self-care is not selfish. And I'm so blessed, I'm so honored, I'm so elated because I have been privileged to have not only people that are skilled in their field, but people that are my friends, people that are doing great things, and people that counted not robbery, as we say in the church, to be here. They could be doing anything else on this Saturday evening, but they have come on alongside to walk with us along this wellness journey. Now, you know, we do wellness from top to toe, and wellness is not only about just mental wellness, but we have wellness on all areas or all aspects of our lives. They're like 8 dimensions of how you can keep yourself well, right? And one of them is taking care of yourself physically. And on that physical note, it's not just exercise, which we had, right? We got to take care of ourselves in every aspect. And you know, as women, and I know brothers that you are in the room as well. And so we're going to talk to someone today who is no stranger to me. She's a dear friend of mine, a dear sister in the Lord, a dear wonderful young woman. I'm so extremely proud of what God is doing with her and in her. And I just want to give you a little brief, and I hope I do her some justice. I want to give a brief introduction of who she is and why she's here today. Okay. I'm talking about none other than Topaz, also known as Taz, and she's a hairstylist. Yes, she's a hairstyle. Yes, and she says that a lot, but she's a hairstylist who takes pride in educating, empowering others to do better, right? To embrace and explore the art of expressing themselves through the diversity of hairstyles. Well, you see, I'm rocking my own natural do today, which I often have issues with because I have a lot of hair up here. And so I do a lot of protective styles. But she is not only a stylist, but she has created some phenomenal products that has helped me personally get to where I am and to also to maintain. So as you know, we are using StreamYard. And if you want to make comments, of course, you got to give StreamYard the ability to see your name. Other than that, I would shout you out as I see. So thank you so much for joining Miss Colleen. Thank you for joining Dr. Wynn. And I hope you guys have questions for Miss Topes as she comes in the room on today. Come on in. Hello, hello, hello. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? How's it
I am
going?
well. I am well. I'm so glad that you're here with us today. I know that I have benefited greatly and still continue to benefit. And so I wanted to make sure that the people understand that you got to take care of the crown that is our hair. You got to
Yeah.
take care of this crown. And you know what? One of the reasons I thought about you even more so was that slap incident. That slap incident came because I know we talked about it. We've been exhausted that topic, but
Right.
that slap incident came right on the edge of someone stating that they were dealing with a hair issue, which was made fun of. And so, in protection mode, I think that's what they say. He decided to slap the person who was making the fun. And we all know who those people are, but we're not going to spend time on them. But we're
Right.
going to definitely talk about that issue. But before we even go there, before Dr. Wynn says, whoop, whoop, yes, whoop, whoop, yes. That's her favorite line, guys. All right. So before we even go there, tell us a little bit about you, Topaz. Let me.
Again, I'm called everything. So I was born and raised in the Bronx, youngest of three girls. So I grew up in a house filled with women, and that really kind of sparked my desire or interest in hair. Period. You just everyone at some point throughout the day was getting their hair done. When my mother was going to get her hair done on weekends with my oldest sister, we eventually, as we got older, we were there with her and to be a part of that journey. So by the age of 9, starting at around 9 years old, I would just start to mimic what my mother was doing or what I saw, and I would try it. I would try it on myself, my sister, who's close in age with me, and then I started to just do everyone's hair. When my first niece came on the scene, I was doing her hair, and that was really it, and that just like started this journey.
Yeah.
Um, it wasn't until probably a few years ago. I've been doing hair like my own for since I became an adult, but a few years ago, I decided to quit my full time job and enroll in natural hair styling school.
Mhm.
Even though I had the raw talent, I wanted to have the education behind it. Like,
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
do people use certain ingredients, certain products? What's good for us? What's not good for us? How do I care and tend to people of different hair textures? I am an African American woman, but I want to cater to people of different textures and different races and ethnicities. So I went to school to really just learn the craft and learn the art behind that. Um, and shortly after that, I founded my baby Tazzmane. It is a COVID baby. Technically, it's a COVID baby. The
Mhm.
official business um, launched in February of 2020. So right when COVID was
Really?
getting started, I became an official business, and I was in my sister's home and making stuff from hand. Like, I did not go to school for chemistry. Science is my least favorite topic. But I was just like, you know what? I can do this thing. I'm just going to start making stuff at home for myself and for my sister. And she loved it. And then, I tried to test and see what the appetite was outward. And you definitely one of those consumers from the beginning. I was making conditioners at home,
Yes.
um, and sending it off. And then I just decided, listen, I want to expand and I want to make sure that I have it down to the science. So what I did was I used my area of expertise when it comes to certain ingredients, but also understanding that my area of weakness was the science behind it. And I hired my own scientist
Oh
to
wow.
formulate my products, some of my products that I have, and others that we're working on right now. Um,
Yeah.
and
Don't jump ahead. Don't jump ahead. We want to.
that's my historical context of how.
Oh wow. You see, I even learned something new. I did not know that. And I thought for some reason that you were around. I don't know, maybe because we go to church together, those of you that are viewing. And I thought maybe you were around before, but Tasmane just launched in COVID. My
Yeah,
God.
yeah,
I don't know. It felt like you were doing this longer
right.
because you was always hooking somebody hair up, when we had double services or anything of that nature. And so she's been tried and true and tested and proved. But I'm sure, listen, guys, if you have questions at all about your hair, some of us aren't natural, but some of us, she has studied, as she said, and she can take care or help us take care of all types of hair. I personally, hi, Jackie, thank you for joining. I personally went natural, I would say fully, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 years now. It was before COVID. It definitely was before COVID. I did not go through natural, like, I didn't do the big chop.
Right.
I did the what you call it, the transitional
Yeah.
thing. So I had my strength because I was just afraid to lose. I'm used to having long hair and cutting it, and then it grows back. And so for me, the big chop was it was big. It was gonna be big. So I would jump right in there. If you want to go natural, Topaz, would you recommend, what is the best solution? Big chop or no big chop?
They both have their benefits. So what I will say, I've cut my hair several times, and not because I needed to, just because, and Allison, I change my hair all the time.
Yeah.
So you see me like this today, tomorrow I can look a whole completely different, like a
Right.
completely different individual. But they both have their benefits. Big chop, if you are, and a big chop, for those of you who may not know that phrase, is you are cutting off all of the chemically processed hair on your head, whether it is relaxed hair. In most instances, we're talking about hair that's
Mhm,
relaxed.
mhm.
So you're cutting off all of the relaxer on your head and you're just starting fresh with your virgin hair that's coming right out the scalp. The benefit of that, your hair grows the fastest that way because there's no chemicals that has altered your texture. It hasn't slowed down the growth stage. There's different stages of growth, so it hasn't slowed that down. And it's just your virgin hair, and you treat
Mm,
it, you create a routine, and it grows like that. I'll use myself as an example. One of my haircuts, I kept my, my top a little long, but
mhm.
I shaved everything around here.
I
And
remember that.
to this day now, my back is my longest,
Yeah, yeah.
grows the fastest. So that's the benefit of a big chop.
And I have to say, stick a pin. I have to say that that is true because I've seen people who cut off all the hair and it's much longer than mine, and
Wow.
I'm struggling in length sometimes. I know, I have length because my texture tends to shrink, but there are people who, and I'm like, what happened here? And I somewhat, not necessarily fully regret, but I was like, but I do. Is there, if in a case like mine, who I didn't do the big chop, but I now, the growth is kind of decreased, so to speak, or stagnated. What can I do to increase? Is there anything that I can do to increase the growth process of my hair?
Yes. So especially when it comes to our people,
Yes.
um, everyone's hair grows every single month. What we struggle with is length retention, and
Mm,
that's the ability to keep the length that we're getting. And for us, one of those reasons is because our hair is so tightly coiled and kinky. We have these really beautiful textures. It's a blessing and a curse at the same
yeah.
time because our hair is the most fragile type of hair. People whose hair is a little bit on the finer end or straighter naturally, they can retain the length because their hair is stretched. Because our hair shrinks so much,
Mm,
it's so fragile, it gets dry, quickly. And that's when we start to experience breakage, which is from the bottom of our hair, the very end,
mm,
which is the oldest part, that starts to break off. So you have to create a routine that is building length retention. And I'm even doing that for myself,
yeah.
where I'm stretching my hair more often. And stretching doesn't mean silk press all the time. You can blow dry your hair in healthy ways to keep your hair stretched. So my hair is freshly washed and it's blow dried gently. And it's just in a stretch style. So I haven't
Mm,
twisted it, no rods. I'm trying to keep my hair stretched and build length retention. So for someone like you, Allison, who has length and you don't want it to shorten, have more stretched hairstyles. That could be a bun, that could be wearing twists, mini twists in your hair, which I think would be a really nice style on you with
yeah.
your own hair. Um, Doing things like that to keep your hair stretched out. And another thing that we all don't consider is the clothes that we wear. I'm
Mm,
really big on satin. If you
yeah.
see me, the more you see me, you'll see I wear a lot more satin clothing, especially if my hair is out because of the material. So I
Mm,
say, oh, it's satin, right? Satin bonnets, which we'll get to, satin
yeah.
pillowcases, but also the clothing. So you want to be mindful of the clothes and the material that's wearing off, that's rubbing off on your hair.
Wow.
Those are some tips for us when it comes to building retention. Your hair grows all the time. Love satin. Yes, satin is it's great for the skin. I'm not
Yeah.
sure if that was mentioned in your last session, but satin is just amazing. So
Yeah.
just some points. Keep your hair in a stretch style. Obviously, take
Mm,
more care and pay attention to the ends of your hair because it's the oldest part. So if you look at your bun right now, that is the oldest part of your hair. Can't even
mm.
tell you how long that hair has been on your head, but it's been there for a while. So pay more attention to the ends of your hair.
Oh, wow. in considering that, back when I was before a little bit of knowledge that I have, I used to think that, you losing the hair from the root,
What
and
you
not.
do, you
You
can.
do, but now that you're saying the oldest part is, you would think that the oldest part is, I don't know why you thought the oldest part was here and not the end. So really, and that was something that prevented me from wanting to cut my hair, because
Yeah,
I felt like I was cutting off the life of my hair,
yeah,
not understanding that I'm cutting off the dead part or the
right.
oldest part that
Which
kind
is
of.
why there's so many people who are afraid to trim their hair.
Yes.
Me, I'm not afraid of the scissor, but if I'm trimming someone, I show them this is this is the dead end. These are your dead ends. However, do you want me to trim it all off, or would you like me to trim off maybe half an inch or so? So I give the consumer, the client, the option. But if they leave it up to me and say, hey, I've had a few that's like, hey, just cut, whatever's not healthy, great. And I'll still show them this is what's coming off. But when you mentioned hair coming out from the scalp, there's a difference between
Mm,
breakage, which is coming from the bottom of your hair
mhm.
strand, and hair falling out. If it's falling out, it's usually coming from the top and it's
Okay.
thinning now. Your hair is thinning.
Okay, we have a question. We have a question from Carlene Charles, and the question is, how often should we trim the ends of our hair, and does that promote healthier growth?
Yeah, so again, this goes based for each person, it may be different. If your hair is chemically treated, you may want to trim your hair a little bit more often. Why? Because your hair is in its weakest state now. It's been broken down,
Mhm,
and you want to make sure that your hair is building strength back. So if your hair is chemically treated, probably a trim about every 6 to 8 weeks. That's again assuming that this person wants to continue their chemical treatments. If if again, and I don't trim if it doesn't need to be trimmed. If it
right.
doesn't need to be trimmed, I'm not going to trim it off. So, but there are some tips to look at your hair at the ends of your hair to see if you need a trim. If you're trimming your hair, do not do it on your own if you do not know what to look for, because then you find yourself trimming what doesn't need to be trimmed. So go to a stylist
Mhm,
and ask them to give you a trim. You should not have to trim your hair more than twice a year, but it's entirely up to you and how you take care of your hair in between your trims. If you
mm.
don't care for your hair and your hair is dry and brittle, you don't have a routine, you don't decondition, you will find yourself having to trim more often.
Oh wow! Listen, I'm guilty, guys. I must. So this is this is for me more than anything else. Guilty as charged when it comes to trying to trim, because I am so afraid of the scissors. I'm so afraid of the scissors. So afraid. Colleen had a backup. She says summer is coming and she wants a bold color. What tips can you give about bleaching or not bleaching natural hair? That's a great question.
Yeah,
Again, something that I am traumatized by. This is
excellent.
really self-care for me, Topaz, because yeah, I'm traumatized.
It can be. Listen, I always have a pair of hair scissors near me. Like it could be a strand, and I'm just like, oh yeah, it's got to go. But
Oh boy.
um, when it comes to coloring hair, bleaching the hair, obviously, if you're not familiar with that, now I have colored my hair at home. I've done
Mhm.
it most of the time, Allison, that you've seen me with different hair colors. I've done it myself,
Right.
except for this one time because I knew the style that I wanted. And I just wanted someone else to do it, and I took care of myself for that. I treated myself, and I let somebody else actually do my hair, and I haven't done that in years. So off the bat, when it comes to coloring your hair, especially when it comes to bleach,
Mhm.
you are bleaching your hair, get that done from a professional. It's a lot of coloring. Period. You should go to a professional. Period, because there are formulas. They're putting in treatments in your hair just to make sure that your hair does not fall out and break. But you have to do your research to make sure that you're going to the right person. So, and I give consultations if you're asking whether or not what type of color I should do. That goes also with the hue, your complexion, what are your undertones. There's a lot of recommendations that you can get on that end, but when it comes to adding any type of color, you may want to seek professional advice first, and get it done by a professional. That's my professional recommendation. You don't have to follow me and do your hair at home because I don't I knew how to care for my hair
Mhm.
um, while I'm coloring it. So for those of you who don't, if this is not your area, go to a professional for sure.
Awesome. 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 Bring those questions. Bring those. I had a pre-question before, and this is a general question about, just staying healthy and having your healthy hair. How often should we wash our hair? That's a debate that us people of color have a lot, because our Caucasian brothers and sisters, you see them coming to work, they shampoo every
Yeah,
day,
every day.
every day.
And that's because their hair is oily. So
Mm.
everyone, and I'm quick trivia to you, Allison, because you, I think, won this trivia question that I put on my page before. The oil that comes out of our scalp that and out of our skin. What is the name of that?
I can't remember.
Okay. So it's called sebum. So it
Yes,
comes
yes,
out of
yes,
your
yes, yes.
pores, comes out of your scalp. So when you imagine someone who has straighter hair, so people who are Caucasian, even some people who are Latin American or Spanish or something like that, their hair is a little bit more on the straight, depending who they are, a little straighter.
Simone guessed it, Topaz. She said sebum.
As the sebum. So for people who have straighter hair, or even if we wear our hair straight often, you
Mhm.
find our hair gets oily faster.
Mhm.
So that's because the sebum is traveling down our hair shaft faster. For those of us who have the kinky, coily hair,
Mm.
sebum is not even reaching our entire hair strand, which is why our hair is so dry. So people who have straighter hair wash their hair often because it's so oily.
Right,
For
right.
us, we don't, if we wash our hair every day, that's not doing us any good. Um, my recommendation, and you may hear different advice from different stylists. If you're wearing your hair out, like you and I are right now, once a week, pick that one day, once a week, whether it's the weekend for you, or if you could stretch it out based on the style that you have in your hair, every 2 weeks. If you have
Mm.
a protector style, obviously as soon as you take it out, but once a week or every 2 weeks, um,
Right.
for sure.
Ooh. That once a week, because again, another thing that I'm on your couch today. Another thing that is a little bit traumatizing for me is wash day. Wash day is a tough thing for me, because by the time I'm done with wash day, for the most part, I have all this out here, and it's like my hands are like exhausted, tired. And but can you give us, those of us who you're recommending that we wash our hair every week, at least once a week, which is something that I want to really implement, because it really, I have itchy scalp, and we're gonna get there. I do have itchy scalp, so after a week, my hair is getting itchy, right?
Yeah.
So for those of us who have trauma dealing with wash day, what is something that we can do that's easier? Or do you recommend deep conditioning every week, or how does that go?
I deep condition every week. Every time I wash my hair, deep condition. It's just that is my routine. I don't wash my hair without deep conditioning my hair. And the
Mm.
difference, for those who may not know exactly what deep conditioning is, it's not just putting conditioner in your hair in the shower for 3 minutes and I'll rinse it out. Deep conditioner is you're applying the conditioner, the product, and you're covering your hair, whether it's with a old school plastic bag or shower cap, and you're applying heat. So either you can do it the natural way, the greenhouse method, which is you're tying it down with the plastic bag to keep the heat in from your scalp, to allow the product to penetrate your hair, or you sit under a hair dryer or you steam your hair. So
Mm.
deep conditioning is not deep conditioning if you're not applying heat and allowing at least 30 minutes for the products to penetrate your hair shaft. And itchy scalp, and shower day, shampoo day, or wash day can be stressful for a lot of people because they feel that their hair is not manageable. The
Mhm.
way you care, your wash day is most important, and using the right products and the right tools, it helps, and you won't feel that it's traumatizing. In fact, some people, I look forward to wash day, and not, I keep saying wash, yeah, it is wash day. I look
Mhm.
forward to it because of the products that I use. It's
Mhm.
so relaxing to me. And I think even when it comes to the self care, if you're doing your hair at home and you are shampooing and deep conditioning at home, finding the right products
Yeah.
that's going to also stimulate other things, your senses, things that are going to bring scalp stimulation. Um, I'm not going to toot my own horn, but my own shampoo, I enjoy using that because it's very relaxing. The scent of it, the way it makes my scalp feel, you can feel the freshness on your scalp. It's very relaxing for me.
You
Um,
better toot your own horn because I can testify I love a good, if it doesn't make my scalp tingle, it is not cleaning my scalp. That's my feeling, right? If I don't feel that tingly feeling and I smell that fresh, my scalp is not clean.
yeah.
And so because this is my routine, I have to take a comb and scratch all the scalp before I'm letting you guys into my little space, and I, that lift up the dandruff or whatever it's,
Right.
it's called. And then I do my, do my wash, and that shampoo that I bought from Topaz, from Tazzmane, it's excellent, excellent, excellent. Gives me both that tingly and that smell. So you're absolutely right. When you have that product that is creating even the senses, lifting, working every part of your senses, even your smell, it
Right.
really does make it a little bit easier. And don't forget to mention your comb that I use to detangle. Okay. But before we go there, somebody's asking, what's the name of your own own what?
Shampoo.
Shampoo. That's Simone. Yes.
I
What's the
love
name of the shampoo? Oh, Simone, I would put up her directions right here. If you want to shop or connect, visit www.tasmane.com. And
Yes.
you
So
can get all the
our
products.
shampoo right now is we are working to restock it. I mean, it went
It
sold
went
out
fast.
very fast, which is a good thing, So, but it will be coming back very soon. So please subscribe so that
Mhm.
you can know. I always give my subscribers first dibs
Yes.
before launching or putting on any type of social media or sharing the word. So as soon as we're back in stock shortly, the subscribers will know first and will be able to order first before anybody.
Yes, again, I can testify. I can testify. Listen, it's a whole lot. Come on with those questions. We are taking questions about self-care and here today. Now let's jump a little bit. We have a few men that is in a part of our community, and we just want to talk a little bit to our brothers, because a lot of times, even going to the physical doctor, they don't often want to go, but they go to the barber, they get their haircut if that's their persuasion. But what can a man do as to groom? Do you have any tips for our brothers today?
The same thing.
Hmm.
When it comes to barbers, um, if men are getting, because hair overall, right, the way we wear our hair or the condition that our hair is in, it makes or breaks how we feel about ourselves in most cases.
Yes.
There are a lot of men that I've seen who go to the barbershop and they're experiencing now they're having skin issues in the areas in which they're getting the shape ups because of improper sanitizing or disinfecting of the barber's tools. So the same way that we as women care for our hair and shampooing and are mindful and are cleaning our tools, men need to be mindful of the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So if they have hair on their head, still shampoo, wash your hair, still deep condition it. If it's long enough or whatever, get yourself a trim. If you wear
Mm-hmm.
it in braids, if your hair is short, you're going to get your shape ups. Great. But the same rules apply. And if it comes to their beard, same rules apply.
Mm.
Wash your beard, condition your beard. Um,
Wow.
you're going to the barber, they're going to shape it up for you. Great. But also making sure, similar to our wash day and shampoo is meant to care for the scalp. So men need to not just wash the hair, the beard, but the skin that's underneath, um,
Mm.
to make sure that they are not experiencing any type of pimples or breakouts or rashes underneath there. Same thing with our head. This is on their face, so they need to apply the same principles.
All right, talking about that wash day and taking care of your scalp, right? Again, back in the day, I mean, I'm getting a little better with all these things. If I did not dig into my scalp while washing. I did not feel that it was really washed. And if I didn't see all the suds, which I still kind of do with my laundry, right? I had to see all the suds in order to make sure that if I didn't. And I've seen other people, and I don't know if this is what you subscribe to, that really shampoo is supposed to go to your scalp and not necessarily on your full hair while washing. What is your take on that?
I mean, it's shampoo's going to get on your hair,
Yeah.
right? It is, but focus on the scalp because that is the foundation. If your scalp is not healthy, then one, it could stunt your growth
Mm-hmm.
and it could cause other issues. So wash day is the way we wash our face and our bodies is the same thing. Your scalp needs to really be taken care of and it needs to be clean. If your goal is to grow your hair, you have to make sure that your scalp is clean. And so when it comes to the suds, right now, there's different types of shampoos. You have sulfate shampoos, and those are cleaning agents that are not natural. They are aggressive cleaning
Mm,
agents on the hair. So for people like us, textured hair, it's very aggressive on our hair and it can strip us. There are some cases where sulfate shampoos are needed. Those
mm,
would be clarifying shampoos. So if you're going to a beauty supply store and you see clarifying shampoo or something along that line, they will have sulfates in it. And that's to give your hair a complete fresh start, cleaning it of everything. And then you could start. And that's fine. Don't do it often. For
mhm,
people like us, we want to have more moisturizing shampoos because our hair is naturally dry. So each step of our hair routine should include some type of moisture. So not having the sulfates in our shampoos on a regular basis. So use a moisturizing shampoo if you're washing your hair more often.
awesome. Great. We have a question in the chat, and this is from Miss Camilla Warren. She is a self care guru herself. Thank you for joining, Woman of God. Thank you for joining. Leaving conditions really important, or is deep conditioning more important? That's a great question.
They are both just as important.
Mm,
Um, Deep conditioning, obviously, it's very important. But once you finish your deep conditioning, what happens? You're rinsing your hair,
right.
and then you have to go to the next step. So a leave-in conditioner is exactly what it sounds like. What are you doing after you've washed?
Mhm,
What products are you using to now keep moisture in your hair? For especially for us who are textured hair, that's the phrase for it. Those of us who have textured hair, we have to have leave-in conditioners and leave-in products in our hair um, to keep moisture in, to
mhm,
prevent breakage, excessive shedding. Leave-in products help with your detangling. Deep conditioning helps with
mhm,
your detangling. So you should not be detangling your hair just in the leave-in conditioner section, but use your deep conditioning to help. So they're both equally important because they both provide two different services. Deep conditioning is you've washed your hair clean with shampoo. Now you're deep conditioning and penetrating into your hair shaft. Take advantage of that heat, opening up your cuticles to allow the product to go in, and then you rinse it out. You have now moisture in your cuticles, and leave-in conditioner is just adding some more in
mm.
to last you until your next wash.
Awesome, awesome. Is there any products you would recommend as far as deep conditioning? Is there anything that we should look for in that product as well for that deep condition
Um,
process?
Everyone has their preferred ingredients. One of my favorite ingredients for my hair, which I've learned, is vegetable glycerin. I
Mm.
use that for everything. It's in Tazzmane shampoo. It's in Tazzmane's deep conditioner. So obviously, again, not to toot my own horn, but Tazzmane, which is also sold out, but it will be coming right back very soon. Our deep conditioning duo mask. So it serves two purposes: one as a deep conditioner, and two as a strengthening treatment. So
Mhm.
again, for someone like myself who doesn't have relaxed hair, but I do color my hair, I still need to have strength and add that back in. So
Yeah.
we created this from scratch, this conditioner that does both. And it's a mask. as
Mhm.
opposed to it being a, and that's a whole different thing too. A mask, the consistency is a little different when you put on your hair.
Yes.
So it feels as if it's just sitting on top of your hair. But once you
Yes.
apply that heat on, it's
Yes.
like, where did it go? Like, where is it?
Yeah, it is
Completely
true.
penetrates to your hair. So definitely look for masks when it comes to deep conditioning. I would
Mm.
recommend that. Um, so that's my recommendation. Be
Awesome.
mindful of a lot of people try and stay away from alcohols. They think, oh, there's alcohol in it and that's bad. Actually, no, there are good alcohols.
Mm.
The name is just very intimidating. So, some things to be aware of. If it says cetyl alcohol, go for it. That
Mm.
is an alcohol that's great for it's really a wax. Why it's called alcohol, I don't know. But cetyl alcohol or sterile alcohol are two products that are great and should be included in a lot of leave-in and deep conditioning products.
Awesome, awesome. Going back to your conditioner, that it really is. The first time I used it, I was like, "Do I have to put more? Why is it not? It's not anywhere." And but I did a deep condition, and so I sat
Yeah.
under a bonnet for a minute, and then I was like, "Oh, okay, this is what." So now I applied a little less the
Yes,
second time
yes.
around.
We love to put like a palm size of
Yes.
conditioner in our hair, but you really don't need that much, especially if you have a really strong, potent, concentrated, highly concentrated product, which is what we have. So once and you'll see so much definition in your
Mhm.
hair after you've, applied the heat and you're rinsing it out. It's really a great product.
Yes, yes, yes. Come on with those questions. Those of you who have natural hair, synthetic hair, your hair is not yours. You bought it, you paid for it. You still need some help to care for that hair. Let's talk a little bit about our scalp. A lot of us as Black women, particularly after a certain age, I think, experience hair loss in different areas. Some is the edges. Some might be I personally, and again, letting you into my business, I have this one little bald spot that it has some growth, some hair, and it itches, but it doesn't grow. It doesn't grow for the life of me, no matter what. And I've done everything that I think I can do, but uh what is your take on hair loss, because that's a big thing for us as women, especially Black women, women period, I would think, going out, and men too, but the difference between us and men is a man could go and take a ball cut and then he be looking debonair, and we be looking all jacked up with with our right.
Yeah.
So so a lot of people cover their natural hair with different wigs and all of that, but is there anything that we can do? What First of all, what causes some hair loss, and what can we do?
What causes some hair loss? So one, it can be genetics. Um, it can be hormonal imbalance. For
Mhm,
instance, for women who just may have had a baby, while
mhm,
they're pregnant, they're experiencing a crazy amount of hair growth and then can experience postpartum hair loss.
mm,
So they've lost that. So it could be hormone imbalance. It could be if someone is on any type of medication,
right.
that it could cause hair loss. And then there are some areas on our hair which a lot of people experience shorter hair right here,
Yeah.
which is by the occipital bone. Why? Because if we're styling our hair, it's difficult for us to get to this point, to this
Mm,
area. So if you find your hair is a little bit shorter there, it's because one of the reasons is because it's difficult for you to do your own hair in that area. It's difficult for you to
mm,
moisturize that section properly, to detangle that area
true.
properly. So there's a variety of reasons why people experience hair loss. What I would recommend is finding out what your cause is. So
Hmm.
if you were to do a consultation with me, or someone were to come and do a consultation with me, I ask a series of questions that helps me get to the reason why you're experiencing hair loss. I
Hmm.
can't give a solution to everyone on how to get their hair back to health, without knowing historical context, because everyone's situation is different. So if there's a medical concern, your physician obviously needs to play a part as well. Medications, I don't know that. So your doctor should be elaborating on some of the side effects. Is hair loss a problem? You could speak to
Yeah.
your doctor. Hey, I'm
Yeah.
starting to experience hair loss. Is this medication, is that one of the side effects?
Mm-hmm.
We'll
Mm-hmm.
know. So one, find the cause and the reason why you're experiencing hair loss. And
Good.
then once you do that, then we can talk about what will work for you. Some people who have a scalp disorder, scalp issues, seborrheic
Mm-hmm.
dermatitis, a lot of things can cause hair loss as well. So you have to really know what the source is first in order for you to have a solution.
Thank you so much. This is so, so good. I hope you guys are enjoying this. Again, I am Allison. If you're just jumping on, if you're catching this replay, Allison, and we have with us Miss Tazzmane, Topaz author, who is from Tazzmane, the founder and CEO of Tazzmane LLC. She's a hairstylist, but even more so, she has some beautiful hair products that we are going to talk about in a little bit. But Camilla is asking, I'm looking at buying a steaming cap from Amazon. I recently bought one actually. Do you think they work? And it works well to me,
Yeah,
at least.
absolutely.
Yes.
Go
Yeah.
for it. Yes. Steaming, when it comes to self-care and hair care and your deep conditioning, I highly recommend steaming in there. It gives it it takes you to another level and another dimension. My steamer I do have the steaming cap, but I use an actual steamer that's just directly going
Yeah.
onto the hair. But either way, it's phenomenal. So yes, the ones from Amazon do absolutely work. They're very economically friendly.
Yes.
So I absolutely recommend that for sure.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Going back again to the scalp, and let's talk a little bit about that itchy scalp syndrome that I tend to suffer with. I play a lot with my hair. That's a good question, and I'll come to that in a minute. There's a great question in the chat. But what would you recommend for somebody who has itchy scalp or who, yeah, because like I said, after about a week, up day 4 after my wash, I sense a little tingling, but then it gets really, really itchy. Um,
Here's my question to you. Do you use a lot of products?
Not really. Sometimes, honestly,
Do you oil your scalp by any chance?
with your part. Yes, not often. How often should I be oiling my scalp?
Again, it goes based on your need. So
Right.
this is one thing I'll say. The reason why I asked about the products, one thing to consider is your porosity. I
Mm-hmm.
have low porosity hair, which means, long story short, which means it takes a long time for my hair to dry. My hair
Mm-hmm.
doesn't have a lot of pores, so it takes a lot of penetration. I can't use a lot of products on my hair because it will cause buildup, which will bring me to my itchy scalp because I experience itchy scalp. My scalp be on fire, which is why I started to wash my hair on a weekly basis for that
Mm-hmm.
reason
Mm-hmm.
alone. Um, so once you learn your porosity, you will know better.
Might as
And
well.
there's a few tests that we could do for that. Once you know your porosity, you'll have a better idea as to how you should move forward with your hair. That's one thing. Um, and then also, if you have low porosity and you're using Tazzmane oil, which one are you using? Are
Mm,
you using the low porosity one, or are you using the thicker one? So it's all about the products too. Um,
right.
so you want to make sure that you're not getting product buildup. And then also, so for me, and again, I will toot my own horn right now
Yes, do
because
that.
so Tasmania, we have two oils right now.
Mm-hmm.
Similar formulas, just the base oils are different because one is lighter for low porosity, the other one is just a thick general oil, which is great. We will be launching it's really for a growth. It's a growth oil,
Mm,
but the properties in this upcoming oil really also help with keeping the scalp clean. And I have not, and it's in testing mode right now. So I haven't officially launched it yet, which I will soon. But I'm using it on myself as well. Anything I launch,
yeah.
I try it on myself too. So I have not been experiencing itchy scalp. You saw me the other day. I had my hair in braids and in cornrows, and that was for quite some time. And there was a lot of product that the woman put in my hair, but I used the oil and
Everything.
didn't
Yeah.
experience any itchy scalp. So just so it doesn't have a label because this is just mine, but it will have a lot of herbs in it.
Yes.
That's really what's going to cause the hair growth, but it really soothes my scalp. And I don't see flakes, which is
Hmm.
great because I experience a lot of flakes on my hair, so I haven't seen flakes, and my scalp has not been itchy.
Awesome, awesome. So I have to figure out my porosity. I think it's low. I think it's low, if I may say so. I don't know. Next question from Simone. Do you recommend pre-pooing? Oh yes.
I Allison knows my answer. I love pre-pooing.
Hmm.
Pre-pooing is my best friend, and
Tell
why?
us what is pre-pooing for
Right.
those who don't know what that is.
Pre-pooing is applying a product to your hair before shampooing. It is not counterproductive because the more moisture or detangling that you can do, the better. Pre-pooling, especially depending on the product that you use for that, can help you with your detangling process. And if you're detangling correctly, you should not be experiencing a lot of breakage. But it's allowing more moisture and natural ingredients and healthy ingredients to penetrate your hair shafts. That is what we textured folk need. We
Hmm.
need products and ingredients to penetrate our hair shafts. So I absolutely recommend pre-pooling. You can use plain old aloe vera gel, which is one of my favorites, and you can pair it with an oil. Or you can use an actual pre-poo product, which is also something that Tazzmane will be launching too.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Come on. I love these questions. Question for me. When you're doing, I do a lot of, like I said before, protective style. So it might be braids, might be, what do you call that thing? Whatever it is. But for the most part, I just recently had micro braids. And so it took me a while. It probably was in for like a little over 2 months. And when I took it out, how much hair should I have lost in my shampoo wash day? Because I was a little bit traumatized.
I can imagine. So, one, my question to you, and you don't have to answer it, is whether or not your hair was properly moisturized going into your protective style. If you use leave-in products and moisturize your hair before, again, you don't have to answer that. Another thing that I will say though is leaving a protective style in for a very long period of time can cause issues.
Hmm.
One, because especially if it's synthetic hair, but any hair, to be honest with you, eventually it brings wear and tear to your own hair because as your hair is growing out, the braids are starting to kind of slip or fall, and it's causing a lot of tension on your own hair. Sometimes we can add too much hair for a specific style, and it's a wear and tear on our hair. And then when we're taking our braids out, it's like, what is happening? So
What?
excessive shedding, that's what you experience, a lot of
Hmm.
shedding. And it could be because your hair wasn't moisturized before you went in, or one, it was too much hair for you,
Hmm.
or three, it you kept it in for too long.
Yeah.
So just some things to consider. I know we all love to stretch our hair out, like I'm gonna rock this protective style until but you just want to make sure that we're not
The truth.
keeping it in for too long. And if you are, then just be gentle on it and try and keep your hair down. Just you don't want it to be bring too much tension to your hair.
Yeah, Claire, I certainly will agree 100% to having it longer than I anticipated because I really didn't want to take it out. I was didn't want to go through the ordeal of taking it out.
Yeah.
But also, yeah, and when it started, it felt even heavier, which it was pulling a lot on there. Somebody said ouch. Colleen said ouch. She's my very good friend, and she too have protective style that she typically have braids in right now. I think I don't know if she still have them, but probably did the same,
I'm
did the
telling
same
you.
as me. Cause you said, oh no, I ain't taking this out. This is life right now. You don't have to get up and
It's like,
go and do anything with your
right.
hair.
It's beautiful,
Um,
but
listen, natural hair is She said that wasn't me. That's my 2+ months braids talking. So she certainly have hers, but I think she washes hers. I did not. I'll be honest. I'll be honest. So those of
Mhm.
you watching out there, I'm not a dirty person. I just did not think that I can handle washing those braids. Okay, I
Mhm.
could not. Okay. As far as protective styles, right? Most of us, natural hair is the craze right now, and it has skyrocketed. When you go, there's a whole section in the beauty supply store where
Yeah.
we have all these natural products, and we get all types of confused. At least I do when it comes to. So that's why I was so grateful when you came up with some products that will help, because I did not know what to buy. Right, I did not. And I was using two and three different things sometimes in my hair. How important it is to kind of use the same type of product. And if you don't have a product line, what would you recommend as a good product line for somebody out there?
Me, so if I don't have a certain product as of yet, what are some recommendations?
Mm-hmm.
Um, there really are a lot of, you know, product lines that are excellent. Some work for me, some don't, and they can work for somebody else. Um, a few that really inspired me to get into it
Mm-hmm.
was Main Choice.
Mm-hmm.
And she used her own background from being a scientist and studying chemistry and took that and brought that in. And Mael Organics is great. And they're great because of the ingredients.
Right.
I am a big advocate on it could be an off brand that nobody knows of. And the ingredients are great. So I've had people in beauty supply stores like, hey, like, I'm gonna send you a picture of this ingredient list. Can you help me really quick? And that's what we need to start doing.
Mm-hmm.
Don't just go into the store and grab what looks appealing.
Right.
Take a few seconds and look at the back, and if there's something you don't know, look it up really quick. Take
Mm-hmm.
the time out or reach out to me, send it to me, and I'll let you know for
Yes,
sure.
you will.
Um,
Yes, you
so
will.
I really there's again so many lines out there, and it depends one again on your porosity, your hair texture. So there's a lot of things to consider and what it is that you're looking for. So um, there's not a one size fits all when it comes to hair care, and I think that that's the beautiful thing about it too.
Yeah, yeah, and definitely you have to invest in, just as you invest in going to, the spa for your massages and everything. You got to invest in doing that as well, and thinking about your hair, not just to style it, but to take care of it. And that's one of the things that I love about you, Topaz. It's not just about style; it's really about healthy hair. And what's your catchphrase?
Healthy hair grows.
Healthy hair grows. We have a question in the chat from Camilla. What do you think about using a mixture of aloe vera gel from the plant or fenugreek?
Kind of,
Fenugreek.
and I know you've heard that word before,
Yes.
Allison, in past Tuesday. So, I absolutely love it. I have a bag of fenugreek in
Mhm.
my home. Fenugreek seeds is one of the herbs that you'll find in this growth oil that I'll be launching. It's an excellent mask, which I would assume that's what you're using it for, but it's also great for the scalp. Both of those ingredients are excellent for the scalp. The fenugreek brings strength to the
Mm.
hair for sure. It's very potent. You can mix it in with the oil or with the aloe vera gel, and aloe vera gel is just great overall. It's great for detangling. It's great for moisturizing. It's great for scalp health. So putting those two together it's a dynamic duo for sure. Absolutely.
Nice. Nice. So, can you, in a few minutes, can you give us a few home care remedies that we can do in between our washes, or even on wash day as well? Some things that we can use that are in our homes to, we on a low budget, we may not be able to afford, going to the salon, but we want to still be able to take care of our hair. What are some things that we can use from our very cupboards, or fridge refrigerators, to
Yeah.
create some things?
For sure. Starting from pre-pooing, if
Mhm.
you have access to an aloe vera gel, the actual plant, or a lot of people sell it just in a bottle now, you can use that if you don't feel like using the plant. Um, Using that for your pre-poo. Also, some people just use it as a styling product. They use that for their twist outs or whatever, but using that because you could use it for your scalp. So I'm all about having a minimal, routine. I don't like to just, I used to be a product junkie when it came to hair care, but it doesn't take all that.
Right.
So you can use aloe vera gel for your pre-poo. You can use aloe vera gel after you've washed and you're using it to style as a gel. So using that for your scalp and using that for your hair strands. You can mix that with an oil, an olive oil. That's
Mhm.
already, that's a great oil for your scalp and for your hair. You can use those for a shampoo. If let's say you ran out of an actual hair care shampoo, but you use for someone like myself who always has like Castile soap at home or something like that. I use Castile soap as an alternative, and I'll use that as my shampoo, whether it's the tea tree one or the peppermint. It's concentrated, so you don't need a lot. You can dilute that with water. Some people, if they don't have a shampoo, they'll just co-wash.
Mhm.
I don't co-wash, doesn't work for me, but if it works for you, great.
Yeah.
For deep conditioning or for a hair mask in your home, old school, whip up some eggs. If you
Mhm.
have eggs, again, you can use your olive oil. You can use things like avocados. You can use bananas, yogurt. So there are so many different things. You can use coconut milk if you have that. Those are moisturizing. Those are humectants and things that will bring moisture to your hair that you can use as a mask for sure. So that's home remedies, things at home. If you just need something really quick, one, two, three, and you have it in your cupboard or something like that, you can use those things. But if not, then definitely, start to do some research on some brands. Obviously, Tazzmane is. I would love to have you all as my clients and you all using my products in your home. My goal is to bring luxury styling and luxury products to your home. I want you to feel like your wash day is a spa day for you. Care for yourself and buy yourself, treat yourself to products that will um, really awaken your senses and will help you relax and so that you can steal away for a second and not think about the day or the week that you just had to decompress.
Yeah.
That's what I want. I want men, women, boys, and girls to be able to use these products, but to care for yourself, care for yourself and your hair. It is a reflection of you, it's a part of you. So take some extra time. It can be time consuming, I get that. But take that time and really care for yourself. Care for your body. You eat right, care for your skin. We're doing that, we're drinking water. Your hair is also another part of you. So it's just as important.
And how important in the quickness, I can catch my camera real good. These are two products that I have. I have more, but these are I used to kind of slick my hair down.
Look at my edge control right now. Like you see,
Yes.
like what's happening there? Like what's
This
going
is an edge control for those of you out there who, and this really works on my hair. There's no white stuff coming out, from the other products that I used to use. It holds very well. I actually use this as my gel. It's not just an edge
on?
control for me. I use this to slay
Yeah,
this hair right
yeah.
here, and it stays. To be honest, and this is a mousse that
Yeah.
a foam, that styling foam that really also helps me when I'm doing my twist out, or even with this right here, because
Mhm.
sometimes my little
'Cause,
roots kind
the
of get out of control. I,
Mhm.
I have so many different textures throughout my entire hair,
Yeah.
so I have to know that, and that's so important as well to know. So there are so many products. You just recently, though, something that caught my eye. I forgot to grab my bonnet, but something that really caught my eye the other day that I saw you advertising. Can you show the people, listen, and why you are so bent on using silk, and how we can just access silk without having to go to Macy's?
Right, exactly. So we have our satin, I'm trying to get my camera too, satin
Yeah.
bonnet. So it's in black now, and what makes it
Raise it
different.
up again. Let's see if we can see it
Oh,
better now.
yes. Okay, great. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
It's all everything I we have is branded. We'll have Tazzmane on it, whether it's the logo or the name. So these are our satin bonnets, and these are our newer versions. and they're new because or makes it different is now it comes with a tie. So I like to sleep with, I like scarves. I like head ties, right? I
Yes.
feel security if I'm laying my edges down or whatever, or if I don't want things slipping out at night, I just use my hair tie. But for those of you who want extra security, definitely recommend getting the bonnet that has the tie. We do still have the older versions in stock, which is the regular bonnet, the typical, the regular bonnet, which is satin all around.
Yes.
Um, but for those of you who have braided styles, box braids, and for myself who's wearing box braids, this will
Me
slip
too.
down at night. So using the one that has the tie, very beneficial. Again, satin keeps the moisture into your hair. So if you don't want to sleep with a bonnet or anything on, sleep with satin pillowcases. Okay. But definitely satin for sure keeps the moisture in your hair. And that, Allison, is a good thing for you to remember as well, for someone whose goal is to maintain your length and
Yes.
experience length retention for sure.
Yes, yes, yes. Of course, we can always connect to Tazzmane, to Topaz at www.tazzmane.com. We hope that you have enjoyed this segment. There's so much more that is in her that I know that she can definitely pour out into us, but we want you to connect, even if you don't buy something immediately, because some of her products are on the wait list, so to speak, and we're looking for more products to come out of her, and we decree it over her life that greater things is going to come out, product lines and beauty supply stores and all of that good stuff, or at least we're going to see her product in beauty supply
Yeah.
stores. We can catch it right now, of course, on her website, which is www.tazzmane.com, and everything that she spoke about, you can find it there, or you can just join her mailing list, and she will be able to, for her subscribers, get the information when these products are here. And so, and if anything you want to ask me as well, I'm an avid fan. Thank you,
Thank
Simone.
you.
She's saying great show. Thank you. We thank you so much for joining all of those that are here. Thank
Thank
you, thank you, thank you so much for joining, Camilla, Simone, Colleen, Dr. Wynn, all of y'all that are in the chat. Thank you guys for joining. We could not have a great show without you. And so we try to stay within our hour. This was really, really good. The time went by really fast, and I'm so grateful, Topaz, for you joining with us today. Thank you. Thank you so much. Again, we will post all her information in the group chat as well. And so you can always connect with her. Of course, you can follow her on her own personal socials, which is on Facebook. She's Tazzmane. And I believe on Instagram, she's at Tazzmane LLC.
Yep.
Am I correct?
Yep.
Yes, at Tazzmane LLC. But all of that is going to be posted, so you can get in touch and connect with her. She also does Taz Tuesdays, right? Tip Tuesdays? Is that
Taz
what it's called?
Tuesdays. Yeah. Yep.
Taz Tuesdays on Tuesdays on her Facebook, on her page. She has a business page, and great tips are even shared on there as well about how to take care of your hair. Self care is not selfish. So look forward to other segments of different things coming soon. Thank you so much again for being with us. Of course, you know who I am. I am Allison from the Healing Oasis. And if you are experiencing any issues, of course, we are a mental health space, but we are all about wellness. So if you're experiencing any issues mentally, emotionally, and you want to get in contact with us, 347-674-9253. We are taking new patients, new clients for this season. But anything wellness, jump into the THO Wellness Circle, and you're going to get tips every single day about how to take care of yourself, top to bottom. Thank you so much for joining us. We love you. We're going to see you on the 1st of May, the first Saturday of May. I'm not sure what date is that, but we're going to see you real, real soon. So take care of yourself while taking care of your health. Goodbye.
Bye.